Thank you, and good afternoon to all of you. India is a vast country with diverse terrain, heavy rains to floods on one side, to drought in another region at the same time. Every year we come across natural hazards, floods, cyclone, earthquake, and now this health pandemic. Right use of technology can help us avoid turning them into national calamity or disaster and reduce the damage caused by them. Exploring use of technology in disaster management is quite timely, and I would indeed like to compliment organizers for organizing this webinar. One of the important dimension of disaster management is how do we mitigate impact of the disaster, provide emergency response, commission rescue and relief operations. Technology has an important role in all aspects of disaster management. Preparedness is an important dimension of disaster management. We need to take long-term measures as well as short-term measures for a prior preparation for any to combat any disaster from happening. One important aspect of preparation is creating profile of the place in terms of people, structures, shelters, emergency services, access to places by road, rail, etc. Geospatial technologies are used to create these profiles. Maps with multiple layers of information help us not only planning but analyzing possible impact of disaster. Number of initiatives in this direction are taken by central as well as state governments. At NIC2, we have built up a Bharat Maps infrastructure with 30 layers of information. And these maps are made available to government department as a service to embed in their IT systems for necessary planning and rescue services. Once we have base information ready with emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, machine learning, AR, VR, there is a lot of scope of predicting impact of disaster and draw an optimal plan of our response to that. Communication is another critical aspect of disaster management. Penetration of mobiles to remotest regions of country have exponentially increased our ability to communicate. We can communicate directly with people, get ground report to know safety of people on the ground, early warning, advisory to people in their language, in their own language through text, audio, or even video messages. There's a tremendous possibility of communication. In fact, a lot of innovations have taken place during COVID-19 too. One important intervention was that states were given a facility that using tower-based broadcast facility, they could communicate people regarding availability of ration, medicines, or testing facilities in their specific region. Quarantine monitoring technology by people's participation using pictures, GPS location was another exemplary example where very effective quarantine monitoring and tracking could be done by states by using these technologies, and the need for people to visit to those houses was completely eliminated, which was also needed because of social distance and other aspects of COVID-19. Aragya Setu, which most of you must be aware, is another technology-driven solution to manual contact tracing, which essentially alerts people if they have come in contact with COVID positive person, and also indicates what is their possibility of infection in terms of high risk or moderate risk, depending on how close they have been or how many COVID positive patients they have come in contact, and also suggests whether they should undergo a test or quarantine or caution. And this way, over 15 lakh people have been alerted. See, not only these people can take care of themselves by recommended measures, this kind of alerting people also help that these people were also did not spread that of the coronavirus further, which if they had not known, because often they are asymptomatic, they would have easily spread to their family, friends, or colleagues. So this was another innovation which is found to be very, very effective. There are many other interventions which have been or innovations which have been demonstrated by state during this pandemic. Essentially, all of these are leveraging on mobile applications integrated with geospatial as well as location-based services. And we have seen, and there's a huge scope they have created in response of pandemic, like mapping the health infrastructure, quarantine infrastructure, testing facilities, mapping of hotspots, containment zones, and also giving regular updates, because situation was, as you know, situation is still evolving. Some states we have seen in the past had gone really very down in terms of COVID positive people getting COVID positive, but they are again rising. So these kind of regular updates and advisories to people through mobile is a very effective means of communication. As we have seen in the case of disaster, people participation is another important dimension. There is a very significant role which civil society, individual volunteers, non-government organizations, self-help groups play a very vital role, particularly in attending the situation on the ground, whether which is relief or rescue operations. We should actually have a directory of such volunteer individuals and organizations, along with their contact number information, kind of help they can extend, and geography in which they can extend. In fact, having a platform to engage with people can be very effective in dealing with these disasters. During COVID-19, one such platform we had created with the name Corona Warriors, and you will be amazed to know that over 1.58 crore volunteers have already registered and have shown their willingness to offer their services, which even includes doctors and paramedical staff. And this information is being now extensively used by state governments as well as district administration to seek their help or their contribution in the need of ours, because they have complete information available region wise, profession wise, and by just sending one email or one message they can get in touch with this. So this is something again can be where we can really crowdsource or easily take people's participation in handling situations on the ground. On the technology front, technology devices such as IoT sensors and drones can play a critical role in assessing the impact and also for relief measures like distribution of food, medicine, or other essential goods. During the disasters, there is also a need to extend financial help to people in distress. Digital platforms or technology has also has really helped in addressing this need. If you already have a digital platform for some scheme or something, you just connect to the DBT platform and IC, which essentially connects to each and every bank of the country in a digital gateway, and in just a matter of few hours you can transfer money to lakhs and crores of beneficiaries in your state. And this facility was being regularly used by many states where floods is a frequent phenomena, and during COVID-19 this has been extensively used to provide assistance to migrant laborers as well as other members of the society, social pensions, and various others, such people who really needed to be farmers also were extended. Money was transferred, financial assistance was extended, and this all was possible because a common platform was already. Such kind of platforms in place really help in giving, because in these hours time is of essence, and having a platform really helps. Another thing, during disasters or floods or drought, you might have seen that our farmers really get badly affected. First, their crops get damaged. Second, it takes a lot of time in providing them compensation because of the various process of going on ground, assessing the compensation. I think with IoTs or in fact drones, we can really cut down this process to almost a day kind of a thing. I mean, you can do crop damage assessment, assessment of the damage of the crop using these drones, and immediately transfer the compensation in farmers' account using DBT platform. I think if we could achieve this pan India, we can save a lot of distress, and in fact lives of farmers and their families could also be saved by doing this small intervention. I like to also share some innovations which various states have demonstrated during this COVID-19 pandemic. Like Odisha government really wanted to help their farmers, because suddenly when there was a lockdown announced, they were not able to sell their produce, particularly fruits and vegetables. So they, with the help of NIC, they immediately created an online platform, and using which they could very quickly connect the buyers and sellers, and all those crop could be sold, and farmers could get their necessary price for their produce. NIC has a no code platform called Service Plus. This was also extensively used to generate e-pass system for the over 20 states. These passes were needed during last 2-3 months of lockdown for movement of people for essential services like medical interventions, or the movement of essential goods which had to go from one state to other state. So the system really helped issuing those passes electronically, and movement of people as well as essential commodities during that time. And this kind of a system, as you know, with low code no code platform, comes up in just a day or two. The whole system gets commissioned. You don't have to really get into. We have a system called digital office, using which all government, which has been the key platform to enable government work from home. All government officials could handle their files, approve and process them from the comfort of their homes using this e-office platform, which it was made available on a secure channel. In one of the district in Jagat Singhpur, the collector had already made an was using this e-office, and during this time he extensively used this and found it extremely useful, because the files and approvals, because in government, when you're managing the disasters, you also need to take a lot of approvals which have to happen on some file. So the system he used, and from gram panchayat level to block to district, all those approvals could happen. Over 300 files he could be moved on a daily basis within the district. And encouraged by the success of this, now the state is planning to extend it across all districts, all its districts onto this. Another important thing, innovation which we have seen is from Arogya Setu. Using Arogya Setu, Information IT Madras has come with a model where they are able to predict the emerging hotspots, the places where COVID-19 infection is going to go rise, depending on the time COVID positive patients have spent in last 14 days or 30 days in those zones, and where people have met. And this is proving to be very successful. Lot of their predictions are coming right, and now many state governments are engaging with the whole team of Arogya Setu and IT Madras to really leverage this information to contain spread of virus. Because if you know that in next 1 week this area is going to become a hotspot, you could do containment measures in that area and prevent it from actually becoming a hotspot. There are many other possibilities of such innovations. In the paucity of time, I just shared few. In nutshell, I like to say natural hazards or disasters such as flood, earthquake, drought, cyclone, and forest fire needs a very well planned, timely, and proactive strategy, and it needs to be implemented in coordinated manner. Technology shall play a pivotal role in all of this. As a country, we have come long way in managing disasters under the guidance of National Disaster Management Authority. We can do much more with the intervention of the emerging technologies. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for sharing your valuable insights. And on behalf of Governance Now and entire team, I sincerely want to thank you for taking time out on this very important topic of how advancement in technology can actually help in mitigating disasters and risk reduction, and what is the role that NIC is playing. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you.